This guy right here claims that in 10 and a half years, anyone can become a millionaire if you follow these 7 steps. He has researched these 7 steps over countless people he's coached, a lot of books he's written, a lot of testimonials, and a lot of time and effort and all these things. They've stacked up, and on average, he says between 10 and 11 years, people are becoming millionaires off of these 7 steps. This guy, Dave Ramsey, is not a crypto person, much like you and I. We are into crypto. Dave Ramsey is not. Dave Ramsey pushes debt free and a lot of other things after that debt free part, but most people know him for debt free. He has a lot of other important things to say, but I want to talk about his 7 steps to become a millionaire because we don't just talk crypto on this channel. We talk financial freedom, we talk financial intelligence, we talk crypto, and we talk money. I want to talk about his 7 steps, and then on a couple of the steps, specifically step number 4, we're going to talk about how if you want to go into crypto or if you're in crypto, maybe this is where you can alternate a step or a piece of his puzzle and toss crypto in. The first step to get on this financial journey, Dave Ramsey says, is you need to have $1,000 saved up. This is your baby emergency fund, he says. And, maybe you already have a couple $1,000 saved up. Well, then this is going to be an easy one for you, okay? You don't need to go save an extra $1,000, but if you have like 5,000 in your savings, just you have $1,000. So this one's checked off. Okay. So the first thing you need to do, and this step is really for just getting people disciplined financially and getting started on the financial path. But the first step is to get $1,000 in an emergency savings. Dave says that this should take no more than 30 days, and you need to do whatever you need to do: eat rice and beans, or go get a second job, or sell everything you own, whatever it needs to take to get that $1,000. The second step, Dave Ramsey says, is you need to pay off all of your debt if you want to be a millionaire in 10 years. Okay. Now, some of you might look at me and say, Dawson, what about my house? What about my student loans? What about my cars? What about this? What about that? Dave Ramsey says you need to pay off every piece of debt that you have besides your house. Okay. The house is the one thing you want to leave for a later step. But the second step on this plan, the 7 baby steps, is to get rid of all your debt. So you got to do whatever you need to do, Dave says, on steps 1 through 3 to get these done as quick as possible. And most people can do it in 2 years. Okay. So if you're like me, and I personally have $30,000 in student loan debt, that's the only debt I have. I don't have car debt or credit card debt. But $30,000 in student loan debt, I could, either hustle on YouTube, I could maybe stop investing into like crypto and S&P 500 and move all that money into paying down my debt. I could get a second job on the weekend bartending or bar backing, and that could bring me like $200 to $500 a weekend, depending on tips, and I can just put that all towards my debt. Dave says that this is one of the most important things to do because not only will it get you debt free, so then you're freeing up all that cash. Like, you go to work and you make money, now you don't have to pay things off. You just get to keep the money, right? He also says that this will teach you financial discipline, financial literacy of the mind, and it's just a great step to getting on the snowball. The third step Dave Ramsey says that you need to have in order to be a millionaire in 10 to 11 years from now is have a 3 to 6 months emergency savings. Now, depending on how old you are and what kind of risks you have and what responsibilities you have, if you have kids, if you have a wife or a husband, if you have a couple cars and a house, you need to be on the 6 month plus side. Okay. If you're, no responsibilities, maybe a bit younger people tend to have less responsibilities than older people. Younger, maybe like you're driving a beater car, so there's no payment, you don't have any kids, you don't have any pets. Kind of like my situation: no kids, no pets, no spouse. I can have like 3 months savings and be okay because, if things get bad, I get laid off from my job. As long as I have that 3 months, I get 3 months to work it out, find a new job, or get a couple part-time jobs, and then just make enough money to stay alive. The main goal here is that you want to have enough money to give yourself a cushion so that you never have to dip into your investments. Okay. The next time you get laid off your job, the next time you have a medical bill, the next time your car gets in a wreck, whatever those emergency situations are that happens, you don't have to go sell some Bitcoin to pay for stuff. You don't have to go sell some S&P 500 or sell a piece of real estate in order to pay for stuff. You just have the money to handle the situation, to write a check, get it over with, and then go back, earn more money, refill the 3 to 6 months, whatever you're comfortable with, and then go back investing. Okay. This is based on the cost of your expenses each month, not what you make. So say it costs you $2,000 a month to live. If you want to have 6 months emergency savings, you need 2 times 6, $12,000. At one point in time, I had about 9 months of emergency savings, but I've been forcing myself to push that down to 6 months emergency savings so I can use the rest of that capital on the rest of these baby steps. The fourth one, this is where crypto can start to come in, but just hold on a sec. The fourth step in Dave Ramsey's plan is to save 15% of your household income in a retirement account. Dave has some strategy, he says, where it's like you do like Roth IRA, company match up to 15%. Then you go like traditional IRA or something like that. I don't personally know a whole lot about the Roth IRA or versus IRA versus 401k. I know matching is what companies provide you, but I don't use those traditional retirement accounts. That's my personal decision because I would like to retire before those retirement accounts come due. I know you can take a penalty and pull money out of it, but I don't want to take the penalty. So I just currently don't contribute to that. But the main idea of step number 4 is you want to put 15% of your income into some type of, investment of vehicle. So in these retirement accounts, Dave says you should do a long-term index fund, like a mutual fund, like SPY, or people say like VOO or VIX or something like that, or NASDAQ, right? I do S&P 500, and I don't know my current percentage, but Dave says 15%. I'm probably somewhere around 15%. Now, if you want to do this for the crypto way, say you don't really like traditional markets, although I will always recommend putting some money into stocks because, long-term S&P 500 investing will guarantee you to be a millionaire and retire at 60, right? 50, whatever. It will almost guarantee that. But let's say you don't want to do that. Maybe you don't want to put all 15% into US stocks or mutual funds. Maybe you want to take 5% of that and put it in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or Ergo. Let's say you want to do that, put 5% into crypto. You're totally capable and able to do that as long as you're making smart financial decisions and decisions that you're okay with, saying that you need to retire off this stuff. So if you believe Bitcoin will be around in 30 years when you retire, I think it'd be okay to put 5% in there, right? Of your 15%. That's up to you to decide, but that's where you can start putting crypto into these older financial tools. The fifth one, Dave says, is that you want to save for your children's college. Dave does not want your kids going to college and taking out student loans. He thinks this is one of the biggest scams in the game right now. So if you want to, retire or be a millionaire in 10 to 15 years, part of that is making sure your kids don't go into debt, Dave says. So step 5 is, saving for your kids' college and giving them money to go to college. He also says that this doesn't mean they need to go to the University of Alabama. They don't need to go to University of Florida or Florida State or UT Austin. He says they're okay going to community college, maybe getting some free community college with scholarships, maybe working up slowly to the local school, the local state college. Dave says that is perfectly fine. And from my experience, it is perfectly fine. I went to kind of more Division I school and then from there backed off and finished my degree somewhere else. It has not affected me at all where you graduate from, unless it's Harvard and MIT. Probably doesn't matter a whole lot. Also, if you're like me and you don't have kids and maybe you don't want to have kids, or maybe you want to push kind of having kids down the line. Obviously, if you're going to have kids down the line, you need to plan for that. And if you plan on going to college, you need to plan for that as well. But if you just don't think you're going to have kids, that frees up a whole lot of capital to either put into a savings account, a retirement account, a S&P 500 account, or a crypto account, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, whatever you like. I personally would, the safest investment's Bitcoin. The safest smart contract one would probably be Ethereum. I would probably put the money into Bitcoin and Ergo, proof of work, but that's just my personal opinion. Do your own research on what you think will be around for long enough to retire off of. Step number 6 that Dave Ramsey says will help you be a millionaire in 10 to 11 years is paying off your house. Now, I'm one of the cool apartment renter gang, and I'm, don't really think about buying a house anytime soon. But if you have a house, if you want to buy a house, if you're wanting to push money that way to buy a house and do the down payment and pay when the fence breaks, when the AC breaks, and all these things, you need to get that thing paid off. If you've done steps 1 through 3 as fast as possible within 2 years, then steps 4 through 7, Dave says, it's just a process. It's a longer term process. And you need to work on paying that house down by getting it paid off early. So if you got a 30-year mortgage, try and get it down to 5, 10, 15, do whatever you can to pay that thing off. So Dave is saying get that paid off so then you own all that net worth capital and you can take the equity out and do whatever you want with it, whether it be get another house or use it to buy stuff, right? But if you own your home, you don't have to pay for it. Step number 7 for Dave Ramsey is to now go ahead, take what you've accumulated, that millionaire status, build wealth and be generous. Okay. It's a lot easier to build wealth when you own your home outright, when you have no debt, you have great credit, because you will after all this. Then you can easily pull equity out of a house to do something with. You can easily, if you have all these investments, then they will compound for you. This becomes a lot easier. And then you can do whatever you want with your money. And most people will probably do generous things with that. So just to recap, steps 1 through 3, save $1,000, pay off all your debt, and put 3 to 6 months of expenses into a savings account. Dave says that these things need to happen. The first one needs to happen within 30 days, and the other 2 need to happen within 2 years. Steps 4 through 7, saving 15% in a retirement, saving for your children's college, and paying off your home. These ones are not linear. Like, it's not, you don't save 15% and then save for your children's college and then pay off your house. You do these steps all together. So every month you are putting 15% into a retirement, you're saving for college, and you're paying off your house. This is how you attack those steps, 4 through 6. Those ones you sandwich it all together and do them every month. Whereas 1 through 3, you do number 1 first, then you do number 2, then you do number 3. And then when you get to 4 through 6, you do them all every single month until they're done. And you say you pay off your house, now you don't have to do that step and you just got the 2 remaining. Now, can you do this faster with crypto? I'm not sure. It depends on what kind of cycle we're in and where you think everything's going to be. Obviously, that's 15% of your household into the retirement account, whether you use a retirement account or whether you just use like a money market account or whether you just use crypto. 15%, let's say, has the potential to grow a lot faster with crypto due to the infancy of it. Now, I would not go put it in some bad coins that are not going to be around in 3 to 5 years. Bitcoin will probably be around in the next 50 years when you want to retire. Can we say the same thing for Ethereum? Can we say the same thing for Cardano? New technology is always going to pop up. So this is kind of a game you have to play. These are the exact 7 steps that Dave Ramsey says literally has printed out millionaires time and time again in his audience, his coaching, his testimonials, his reviews, all these things. He has replicated it. He's done the data. He's done the math. These 7 things, if you keep attacking them, he says, attack them hardcore. Like, especially steps 1 through 3, you got to attack those things hard. And then 4 through 6 really just take consistent dedication over a period of time, like 5 years. If you keep working that second job, or you keep, getting better and better at work, raising your skills, and et cetera, you keep living frugally, not raising your expenses, keep driving that beater car that has hail damage and no headliner, right? You will become a millionaire in 10 to 11 years. Now, for all the crypto bros, is it a good idea to put crypto into the strategy, the part where, maybe you don't get a house and you don't have to pay off a house. Right now, you just do an apartment. Maybe you can put more in crypto. Or maybe step 4, where you're putting 15% to a retirement account. Maybe you take, 10% of that and put it into a retirement account, like Dave says, modeling after the S&P 500 or, the QQQ, whatever you want to be in. I'm in the S&P 500. That's what I would recommend. And then you take the other 5%, put it in Bitcoin. Will that be a good idea? My odds would say, if you're buying Bitcoin right now, probably. If you bought it, at the top, probably still would be good over the course of, 10 years when you're trying to become a millionaire. But putting a small percentage of your net worth into that asset class, crypto, Bitcoin, is probably a good idea as a hedge. Dave Ramsey is never going to say it's a good idea. A lot of people are never going to say it's a good idea, but I think it's probably a better decision than ignoring the crypto asset class as a whole. If you want to make a smart investment decision, it would make sense to stay just in Bitcoin. But imagine putting 5% of your capital every month, whether that be $100, $200, $500 into Bitcoin, and that snowballs for 5 years, which is, 5 to 10 years actually, could be 1 or 2 Bitcoin cycles. Imagine where we'll be 5 to 10 years from now. Those are the easy 7 steps that you literally can follow yourself. If you have debt, if you have credit card debt, if you have car debt, car payments, house payments, maybe you're spending too much money on your apartment, maybe you're spending too much money out to eat, maybe you use Klarna and buy now, pay later solutions. If you're having these troubles, if you are, struggling financially, if you are wondering, like, how are people doing this? How are those secret millionaires, the millionaire next door born? These are literally the 7 steps. A lot of people will not have to do steps 1 through 3 if you've already built an emergency fund, if you're already diligent with your money, if you already have, 3 to 6 months or $1,000 saved up. Some of these can already be done for you. If you don't have a house, you don't really have to do that step of paying down your house. But Maybe you need to plan, I would like to get a house. So now you need to work on building the down payment instead of paying off the house. You need to work on having the funds to buy the house, right? So you just need to model these after your specific situation. And if you're at the very beginning, like round zero, trying to get your first 1,000, maybe you need to, this will be a great thing to help you work on the mental game, the mental discipline, the mental knowledge of having money and building money and wealth. All right. Hopefully this is a very informative video. I do think that crypto applies a lot to what, Dave Ramsey says, because crypto and Bitcoin is basic money principles. It's basic fundamental money and discipline and, budgeting. We're just taking crypto on this channel. Our whole goal is to do really good financial structure and toss crypto in at the right spot to amplify it. All right. So if you want to do that, hopefully you follow these 7 steps, and then hopefully you join us on the channel for the next video when we talk about more ways to maximize your wealth. All right. See you in the next one. Have a great weekend.